Take a look at this new ad from President Biden's campaign attacking Donald Trump for his cognitive decline and using Nikki Haley's words against Donald Trump. Play the clip.
Last night, Trump is at a rally.
You know, Nikki Haley.
And he's going on and on mentioning me multiple times as to why I didn't handle January 6th better.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people. They don't want to talk about that.
I wasn't in office then. They're saying he got confused.
You have voter ID to buy a loaf of bread. You have ID to buy a loaf of bread. What? What is? I'm driving over a road where it's almost all paper. And you know, you can see paper. I know paper. I know cans. But all the time now we see whales washing up on shore because of the wind. Our veterans don't have cell phones, do they?
He got confused. He got confused and said he was running against Obama. He never ran against Obama.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
Obama he doesn't want to talk about it.
Well, you mean President Biden. So,
don't put our country at risk like this.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I like that President Biden going on the offense there. Almost looks like a Midas-style short right there. And I think it's powerful to use Nikki Haley's words, especially with all of the data that we've been seeing and we've been reporting on, that Nikki Haley voters state that they intend to vote for President Biden if Donald Trump ultimately becomes the Republican presidential nominee. Want to show you this from this weekend. This was Nikki Haley on Sunday when she went on Face the Nation, and she addressed Donald Trump's cognitive decline and that moment over the weekend where Donald Trump gave that speech. But he's been doing it over and over again. We've been covering it here on the MeidasTouch network. But over the weekend where Donald Trump says, Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, then accuses Nikki Haley of somehow not stopping the January 6th insurrection that Donald Trump caused. Here, play this clip.
You said yesterday hearing this made you question Donald Trump's mental fitness. Is that the first time you questioned his mental fitness?
If you look recently, there have been multiple things. I mean, he claimed that Joe Biden was going to get us into World War II. I'm assuming he meant World War III. He said that he ran against President Obama. He never ran against President Obama. He says that I'm the one that kept security from the Capitol on January 6th. I was nowhere near the Capitol on January 6th.
Now let me just show you the clip of Donald Trump from this weekend in New Hampshire where he had that cognitive lapse where he was saying Nikki Haley's name over and over again, trying to accuse Nikki Haley of somehow being involved in the January 6th insurrection that Trump caused, also lying and claiming that the January 6th report and all of the documents that are archived publicly that you can Google were destroyed, and also trying to then spread this unhinged conspiracy where he had this cognitive lapse where he tries to blame Nancy Pelosi for January 6th, even though Trump then goes on to talk about later in his speeches about how he thinks that the insurrectionists were peaceful and patriotic and how he should have absolute immunity. It makes zero sense at all, but play this clip of Trump.
If I weren't involved in this, if I were home, boy, look at all the people back there. You got a lot of people. This is supposed to be a quaint little area. This is not quaint at all. They're rough people. This is not quaint. Wow. You know, when she comes here, she gets like 9 people. And the press never reports the crowds, you know. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, whatever they want. They turned it down. They don't want to talk about that. These are very dishonest people. But when I look over here, I'm so honored. They said this is a quaint area, beautiful area.
And Nikki Haley in New Hampshire has been, in her speeches, talking about that moment and other moments like the others that you saw in that President Biden ad that I showed you, pointing out Donald Trump's serious cognitive issues. Here, play this clip of Nikki Haley, and this is what she's been kind of repeatedly saying now in her speeches in New Hampshire. Play the clip.
Last night, Trump is at a rally. And he's going on and on mentioning me multiple times as to why I didn't take security during the Capitol riots. why I didn't handle January 6th better. I wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. I wasn't in office then. They're saying he got confused, that he was talking about something else. He was talking about Nancy Pelosi. He mentioned me multiple times in that scenario. The concern I have is, I'm not saying anything derogatory, but when you're dealing with the pressures of a presidency, we can't have someone else that we question whether they're mentally fit to do this. We can't. And then you have Trump. And last night, something happened that has happened multiple times. He was on a temper tantrum about me, which is fine. He does that often. But he went on and talked about how I kept the police from going into the Capitol on January 6th. Went on and repeated that I didn't do anything to secure the Capitol. Let's be clear. I wasn't in the Capitol on January 6th. I wasn't in office on January 6th. He mentioned it 3 times. He got confused. He got confused and said he was running against Obama. He never ran against Obama. Don't put our country at risk like this. This is not personal. I have no personal grievances with Donald Trump. It is personal when it comes to my kids. I don't want them living like this.
He's the one that literally said that I kept the security away from the Capitol on January 6th when I wasn't anywhere there. He got confused and kept mentioning my name.
The man was going on a rant about how I was keeping Capitol Police from going in on January 6th. He went on, mentioned my name multiple times about the fact that I stopped people from being secure on January 6th. I wasn't in D.C. on January 6th. I had nothing to do with the Capitol. It's things like that. He said multiple times that he ran against President Obama. He didn't run against President Obama.
Speaking of new ads by President Biden, here's a very powerful one that he released as well, featuring a Texas OBGYN about women's reproductive rights and how Donald Trump has taken away women's reproductive rights. And in this story, in this ad, this woman tells a very compelling story, a doctor, about what she experienced. Here, play this clip.
I'm an OBGYN in Texas and a mother of 3 wonderful children. Having this beautiful, messy, chaotic, but wonderful family, it's the joy of my life. I never thought that I would need an abortion for a planned pregnancy, but I did. 2 years ago, I became pregnant with a baby I desperately wanted. At a routine ultrasound, I learned that the fetus would have a fatal condition and that there was absolutely no chance of survival. In Texas, you are forced to carry that pregnancy, and that is because of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade. The choice was completely taken away. I was to continue my pregnancy, putting my life at risk. It's every woman's worst nightmare, and it was absolutely unbearable. We need leaders that will protect our rights and not take them away. And that's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Also over the weekend, Fox not quite sure what it was doing. I mean, they were very surprised as they had 2 Republicans go on the show, Republican Congress member Thomas Massie, and then separately Ralph Norman, who both also expressed serious concerns about Donald Trump. Republican Congress member Massie talking about Donald Trump's hush money payments to porn stars and how all of the conduct by Donald Trump is going to become an issue. Let me play that one first, but you'll see how Fox's host of the show, Shannon Bream, tries to work for Donald Trump and does everything that she can to try to help Donald Trump, where look, I probably disagree with Massie on a ton of things, but he's just saying facts. But Fox has to rush to Donald Trump, a rapist, someone who's been found liable for rape's defense. It's so unseemly to watch. Here, play this clip.
they're going to be litigating these cases in the court, and these indictments are going to ripen into convictions. And we're going to be talking about the finer points of whether you can pay a porn star with your campaign money or whether you should write it off as a business expense. I mean, the lawsuit itself is ridiculous, but the underlying facts aren't disputed. And I think people are going to kind of recoil from that when all that stuff starts coming out this summer. And the polls that show him beating Biden, those are going to switch very quickly.
Well, a lot of folks I talk to here who are Trump supporters saying he's their choice for Tuesday here in New Hampshire say all of those cases against him only made them double down in their support. We'll see if that continues as these do progress.
And here's Republican Congress member Ralph Norman also expressing a great deal of concern about Donald Trump, Trump's behavior, and Trump's cognitive issues. Play the clip.
He got her confused yesterday with Nancy Pelosi on the January 6th with the National Guard. And I would say 25 years ago, he wouldn't have made that mistake. But he kept saying Nikki Haley did this, with the National Guard. He was talking about Nancy Pelosi. And that's another example of he wouldn't have made that mistake if he was younger. But I just...
Congressman, let me ask you before you go, why are you one of the only elected officials in South Carolina who's backing her, and why isn't she doing better in the polls there?
And again, you see right there Shannon Bream from Fox trying to immediately change the topic and basically do campaign work for Donald Trump, cover up for Donald Trump. It's really bizarre to watch what Fox has become, really kind of swirling the drain. But I think that first ad that we showed you of what President Biden's putting out about Donald Trump, what I love about that too is it does kind of have those elements of like a Midas style quick cuts. You see Nikki Haley, it's a great ad, and then I think you have the powerful ad on women's reproductive rights, and we're going to be seeing a lot of ads like that. Very compelling, very compelling. And Donald Trump goes around and brags about overturning Roe v. Wade. And stories like the one you just heard is the natural consequence of Donald Trump's despicable conduct. Well, there you have it, folks. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. And check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. And have a great day.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.